Welcome back to operations on the Western Kansas Rails N-scale layout. And what we're looking at is the run sheet, the switching sheet for train 1 eastbound. And I wanted to mix up the switching so that you're not always putting the same cars in the same industries in exactly the same way every time. So I came up with the idea of just reversing the direction of the trains on the track, but keeping the same schedule. And that basically turns a forward-facing spur into a backup motion, but it doesn't really change things up as much. So I had an epiphany the other night and came up with train number 1 is eastbound and begins with Agridine and ends up with Fantastic Plastics. So once it gets to its destination, it then turns around and becomes train number 3. And we'll start off with Fantastic Plastics and end with Agridine. So we're not only changing the direction, but we're also changing the order in which we do things, which will give quite a bit of difference in how things run. We also have done the same thing with train number 2, which starts off with Concrete Industries and ends up with Robinson Oil. But once it turns around and heads back east, you then start off with Robinson Oil and end up with Concrete Industries. Today's operation on the Western Kansas Rails layout, the crew is running train 3. We are westbound. So we're going to start the operating session with a trip to Fantastic Plastics. This is on Module 12, Part A. We're going to pick up 3 empty hopper cars. The crew's on board. We're ready to go, so let's fire them up. And number 3 is going to wait in the hole for the passing of train number 4.